Welcome to episode 11 of Back to Business. This is season 5 of the Foy and Jones Show, and today I'm joined by David Blitz of ET Clay Products. There we go. That tune, Charlie. After a mid-season break, it gets better and better. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Foy and Jones Show. This is season 5 and we are getting back to business. We've survived the new variant. We've delayed some recordings. So after an extended Christmas break, we're going again. We have got David Blitz, Managing Director of ET Clay Products. They do bricks. He's in the studio sitting opposite me, and we've got a story to tell you about this morning, Charlie. So, David, welcome to the podcast.
Good afternoon. How are we doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I know this is you're breaking your duck, aren't you?
Yes,
you're breaking your duck, mate. So we have a lot of fun in the studio, and I've known Dave for years and years, and we talk online, we talk offline, and one of the things he said to me, or he was teasing me with, is I got myself back in, for the benefit of listeners, I started dragging my nearly 47-year-old body back around the park run, and I was posting my time to motivate myself and give me some encouragement. And there he is, he's always 3 minutes faster, he's always a little bit quick, well done, like that. And I'm like, all right, okay, they're fair play. I'm doing 24 minutes, he's doing 21, I'm doing 24 and 23 and a bit, he's doing 20. But I said, Dave, mate, when you're coming down to Brighton, I said, do you want to go for a run along the seafront? Now, no one says yes. Not one person says yes. What does he say? Yes,
absolutely.
I'd love to. And today we made it happen, mate, didn't we?
We did, yeah, it was great. It was a bit fresh. It was a bit fresh out there, but it was beautiful scenery. Nice to run along the seaside. And
yeah, beautiful. It was a beautiful part of the coast, Charlie. We went to Seaford Beach. So we went to a quieter spot on the Sussex coast, Sussex by the Sea, and we did something special because Foy and Jones, and people have seen this on my social channels, we are partnering with a wonderful charity. They address mental health through rugby and sport, Balls for Brains, and we have got a project in play, Project 1000. That project is to raise them £1,000, so they're coaches that deliver amazing mental health workshops, they deliver coaching, they as I said, they address mental health through sport, ages, it's inclusive, it's ageless, it's absolutely brilliant. We're going to hit that fundraising target for them. So we launched that. We combined Dave's visit. He came to Foy and Jones Towers in the morning. We went to Seaford Beach, and we had... My wife went early. She done the 5K before us, Jane did, Charlie. She went early. Yep. And then she made us a lovely lunch. But we're 4 of us done the run. New signing Rico, who was very, very quick. Dave, who was rapid. I was huffing and puffing, and Jack got himself around the 5K as well. But we did it. And we are going to share the charity details. But it was a great run, mate, wasn't it? The sun was shining, the sky was blue, so the sea was blue.
It was lovely. It was nice to run on the seaside, and it was a bit different from Essex. But it was a nice run. It was nice to do something for charity as well.
You do a lot of running, mate. You do your training for the Brighton Marathon, aren't you?
I am, yes. It was supposed to happen last year, and I stopped because a friend of mine I was running with couldn't do it. So we're doing it again this year. Hopefully my second marathon, which I'll complete.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. Brighton's. There's a hill. There's a hill as you go out towards Rottingdean. There's a hill, but also around the docks, it's a bit lonely at times, isn't it?
It's the worst time when you need someone clapping you and cheering you and shouting your name to have no one around you and a big wall in front of you, which I like the walls. Yeah. But
was there any nice bricks on the way round?
There's always a nice brick.
He's been eyeing up the bricks in reception through there. He's going, look at the face work over there on Lewis Road. It's like sad. It's almost like Dave, but I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm here. You're going to get hit by a bus if you keep looking.
Look at the bricks. Look at them everywhere.
I know. But I've run Brighton Marathon. I've showed you the story. I've done it. 3 hours 30 minutes 23 seconds. That's your benchmarks, mate. Yeah. Mate, it was 2014. So I'm not going to get near that time. You saw me today, mate. Yeah. I wore my pink Fulham shorts as well, Charlie.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, he really did.
I wore my pink full of shorts. Yeah. I mean, like, my wife went, "Are you seriously wearing them outside the house?" Like, but we did. But great charity. And you got to meet John, the chairman, as well, didn't you?
Yeah, really nice. Nice to have a little chat over lunch and listening to what he does and his enthusiasm. Yeah. It's crazy how
we could still be talking to him now, couldn't we?
Yeah, I thought we were going to be. I thought we might miss this and just sit there all day, which would have been great.
I mean, if
there was plenty of tea and coffee.
Charlie, camera, set the mics up, away we go.
Yeah.
Good news for Charlie. John's in the studio next week doing a charity episode, and just to bring that to an end, Dave, thank you so much for doing it, because you've not just put your feet through the paces, right? You've not just done that. You've put your money where your mouth is, because we've got £1,000 fundraising target. This gentleman has already put £350 into that pot. So what a great start. We've got other donations getting us over the £500 mark already. David Blitz, ETK Building Products, welcome to the Foyne Jones Show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, David, what I love to do now is just give you a chance to introduce yourself to my listeners, introduce yourself to my connections. But before we do that, we are going to be going out on YouTube. So look into that camera and say hello to your children, mate, because Bart Murphy started this. So what are the children's names?
So I've got Aaron, who's 10.
Hello, Aaron.
Matty, who's 8. And Talia, who runs the house, is going to be 3 in April.
Aaron, Matty and Talia, that is 3 new listeners to the Foyne Jones Show. They'll be following us on YouTube, and you can see your daddy. And do you know what? He did beat me quite comfortably in the run this morning. So there you go.
Brilliant.
You know, he just went off, you know what I mean? There was a little bit, we started together, and like Rico's bouncing around, and you're thinking, this boy's quick, you know, like he's sprinting ahead to film us. Jack tactically said, I'm just going to run my own pace and let you go. I stayed with you for about 1.5 K. Then I'm like...
But then I saw Rico go, and I thought, oh, well, I'll race with him. But then he stopped to take pictures and film me and chat away and ran off again. So I did my own race.
It was good. It was really good, and we've raised that money. So we've said hello to the children. We've got you on the show. Just, how's it going? What do you do? Tell us about yourself.
So I'm, as you said, Managing Director at ETK Products. I've been there now just over 10 years. I think, apart from 1 or 2 departments, I've done every job in the company now. And that, for me, is a brilliant learning curve. Having started in the sales office, doing a sales role, becoming a sales manager, going out on the road, being a commercial director, working with manufacturers. I've managed to take part in every aspect and element of the business, and for me it's a great way to understand the business, the role, and how to communicate with everyone from top to bottom. And it's, apart from driving a forklift, I've not done that, and there's probably a reason I haven't done that.
You ain't got your forklift licence?
Haven't got a forklift licence. I thought about it at one point, but then realised I had a little play around. It's hard work.
I always like to tell a story about say my early merchant days, and I remember my days at Travis Perkins Fulham, and I worked in the yard. I was doing admin on the counter, and just kind of a 4-hour day all rounder.
Yeah.
And when I went full time, it was like, okay, so we now need you to do things a bit more properly, and they're like, we're going to get you on the forklift. So I'm like, oh, you sure? I think I took out like 3 pallets of cement and a couple of pallets of bonding. I was never allowed to say, do you know what, you're quite good. You're quite a good talker. Go back on the counter. You'll be all right there.
Yeah, it's a really I think it's quite a hard skill to learn, hands and feet and everything.
It goes the opposite way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It should be a case of it goes up and goes down the way you sort of manoeuvre it, but it doesn't. And I've never learnt to do it, and I probably don't plan to. The boys in the yard that do it very, very well, do it very, very quickly. And I'd probably just slow them down and get in their way.
So we'll come on to what the world's like for ETK at the moment, what the market's like. We're into 2022, and this episode's going to be going out in early February. So, you know, we can talk about how the year started and how we think the year's shaping up. And that, you know, we always try and keep politics out of the podcast for reasons that everyone knows. But I think once this shambles sorts itself out, we are going to end up back to some form of normality, and that's going to kick into business. But with the family, away from work. We're going to bring football in. You are a Tottenham fan with a close affinity to Leyton Orient, but you're Spurs fans first, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Spurs fan. And
are you like Spurs fan like Chaz and Dave, Ricky Villa in the cup for Tottenham? Are you that much a Spurs fan? Or?
I won't go that far.
Yeah.
The boys are big Spurs fans. Most of the family are Spurs fans. And yeah, we enjoy going to watch them. Occasionally watch them win, which is always a good start. We can talk football, as you said in the car, all day long.
We will. I've got a section for this podcast, and we'll come on to it a little bit later. It's a great section. It's called "We Support Our Local Team," and it's going to include Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, Leyton Orient, and the brilliant work your company doing with Leyton Orient.
Yeah, brilliant.
Of course, we're going to bring Fulham in.
Of course,
we're going to bring Fulham in, and I'm going to speak about our local club, Lewis FC, as well, because we're working with them, and it kind of goes on a smaller scale, similar to what you're doing with Leyton Orient. So we want to bring that in. But Tottenham fan, Essex business, done every role in the company.
Yep.
What's the market like for you and your team at the moment? Because I saw your team sales meeting. You're hanging out and you're sharing that, and you've become very comfortable in that world, haven't you?
Yeah, I think social media now, and LinkedIn is a brilliant tool that we should be using a lot more. And I think as an industry, we spoke about this earlier, quite archaic in the way that we work our business. And I think that the way...
you said archaic, I said stuck in the effing dark ages.
I edited it.
Yeah.
But, the way LinkedIn works is a brilliant way to communicate with people that you want to connect with and people you're already connecting with. And taking a very simple picture of us in our sales meeting that was on Teams last week, got over 2,000 views and... It's so simple.
Every member of that sales team will be listening to this show. He says he points to the camera. But I saw it.
Yeah.
I commented on it.
Yeah.
I shared it.
Yeah.
I know about it. So when I said to my team that Dave's coming down and he's from ETK Products and they said, oh right, we saw you commented on his post and he had his sales meeting and that's what how do you put value on that?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It starts communication, and when you talk about trying to advertise and going out and putting an advert in some form of publication, and who sees it and who actually reacts to it and who deals with it and how that message gets passed on, it's nowhere near as good as putting a message on LinkedIn saying we've got this product, or we've got a new member of staff, we've got a new product range, or we've been to watch a football match. All those things get seen by all your contacts, and all those contacts like, share, comment, and it goes again and goes again. And just keeps repeating it.
That's the real world, right? Because people like sport.
Yep.
People like photos. People like to see real human beings, And if you can bring that to life in a way which presents your business as real, you're going to be connecting not just with your customer, but your customer's customer.
Yeah.
And you're in the thought process. And I saw lots of old school construction supplies companies wake up to that during the pandemic and during the lockdown, and it isn't going to go away. What did your business learn about itself during that time?
I suppose the one thing we realised, and it was a bit of probably a panic right at the beginning, where we were talking about sending people home, how we're going to communicate, how we're going to work, are people going to be able to work remotely? And I think we proved. Eddie wrong. It really is possible. We've got some brilliant people that can work for our business that are comfortable working remotely and working sensibly at home, which they all did brilliantly. But the way we communicate with people, we now have Teams meetings on a regular basis with manufacturers, with customers, internal meetings, and I think the way we communicate as a business now is so much better because of how we've developed from pre-COVID to now. We've really stepped up and learnt the better way to do things.
Yeah. And it's so diverse now. I mean, my day yesterday, I was in a mechanics. My car was getting some work done on it, so I was dropping my car off, and I was getting shouted and sworn at by the mechanics, and it was just banter. It was absolutely fantastic. On the way back to the office, I was talking to two different people in the same conversation on like a conference call, hands free, in the car as I was driving. Then video call 1. Yeah. Video call 2. Then I did a little session on LinkedIn Audio, which is like a Clubhouse thing. I was invited to speak on that, to talk about the Great Resignation. And I sat there at the end of the day and I thought, in about 5 hours, I've kind of done face-to-face, telephone, conference, video, group chat on a thing, and a group chat on in a room, presenting, and then I'm doing a podcast today. But all of those are available to me as a human being and me as a business. Why wouldn't you embrace it?
Absolutely. And the nice thing is that all those things you've done communicating on social media and all the things you do. Before that, it would have been, I've got to go to a meeting here, then I've got to go and meet in here, and that's a 3 days out of your diary.
Has that really changed for you?
Massively.
Because you've got a remote team in different geographical areas as well, so not having to pull them in.
Absolutely. You know, we've now do our Teams meeting, as you saw last week. There's people as far up as Birmingham and in the Midlands and all the way down over to Newquay. So we've got bring everyone in, all into that meeting, all the costs of getting a meeting room, overnight stays, and all the things that go with it.
They when I was a rep, it was like, everyone would travel to it, and it was what you had to do, and it was always like you'd sing for your supper, you present your reports.
But the meetings are so much better. They take 2 hours and not dragged out for the whole day because you think, well, someone's driven 3 hours to get here. I can't make a meeting 2 hours long, so I've got to drag out, give them lunch, and then go till 4 or 5 o'clock. Now you can all go. Actually, we did a 2 hour meeting. Got everything done. Everyone understood what was going on. Everyone knows how they're going forward, and we've managed to do it in a sensible amount of time. And we have that same concept when we speak to manufacturers, when we speak to customers, that we don't have that filler time at the beginning where someone comes to travel for a meeting. You have to talk to them about the weather and football, which I'm sure we'll do, for 30 minutes. Actually, we sort of get down to business very, very quickly, and we're all sort of managing our time much better.
I had one of the video calls I had was with one of our partners, and they do our video recruitment software. And brilliant company, brilliant people, just really good. And you know the way she managed me, you know, because I can be a challenge, you know. But the way she managed me in terms of setting the structure, asking great questions, you know. Screen sharing, taking me through, getting interactive, and you know it was about an hour and 15 minutes, and I genuinely thought I'd only been talking about 15 minutes, and I came away and there was a plan, there was agreed follow-up dates, and I'm like, I said to my team, I said like, Holly, Jack, like, Rika, that is how you control a meeting. That was like everything went in it. We did the fun stuff. We got to detail. It ended positive. She was in Glasgow.
Yeah,
I was in Sussex.
Yeah.
Boom.
And that would have been a 2-day trip, and everything's got to be done.
It was absolute quality. So another question for you, all right? Yeah. And it's recruitment related, hypothetically. So with the new normal, right? Yes. With the virtual meetings, the way the world's changing. When you're interviewing an area sales manager now, potential area salesperson, you know, business developer, are you going to be building in use of Teams, use of video, use of Zoom, like because they don't need that just to communicate internally now. They need that to communicate with your punters, don't you? You need that with
absolutely. The role's changed.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing we spoke about when we're looking at recruiting internal staff, it's very difficult, and hopefully going forward we're all going to be back in the office. But trying to recruit someone when everyone's working from home is a really strange way to recruit, and strange way to train people as well to when people work from home. But
remote on board it. I mean, we are working on projects, marketing, attracting, bringing people in. They are going through 2-3 stage interview process. They're working through probation. They've never physically met.
No.
I mean, you couldn't make that up pre-pandemic, but now it's standard. And is that, you know, has that changed the type of person you look for?
I guess with regards to recruitment, you're trying to identify all the requirements that they need to do the job to the best of their ability, and the job's changed. You know, the way that an area sales manager back in the day would do the job would be almost like as a milk round.
Yeah.
They'd have to go and see 10 customers. Once they've seen the first one, they go and see the second one and carry on until they get to number 10, then they go home. And they wake up the next day and go to another 10. That's not how we work now, and it's not how I think we should be working ever, because you want to give customers a service, and it's very important we give that service, not by knocking on a door once every 6 weeks and saying, I'm back again. We want to see customers because they want to see us, not just for the sake of, I've got to tick a box and I've got to hit my KPIs. And I think trying to work as focusing solely on KPIs is a really bad way of working. And what we want our team to do, our external team, is manage their time and manage their area and manage their customers. If that means they have to see their customer every day for a week, that's you managing your customer.
Yeah.
It's not the same for everyone. Some customers you don't ever have to see. Some customers, you pick up the phone, you have a 10-minute conversation, and they're happy and you're happy. Why do I need to tell my guys to go and see that customer once a week for the next 6 months because that's what we've always done? Let's do things differently.
So with that approach, it's almost like it's a grown-up approach, which is tailored in a way to everyone's requirements. So, and that's it's fantastic to hear, because I think we can get blinded by science and blinded by detail and blinded by data. And I often look at stats and I'm like, okay, but where's the relevance of this? How is this going to help me? And then you get some real detail in the key data, and you're like, well, we could improve that by this, we can improve it by that. And our industry, your industry, the people element is still the most powerful part of the game.
Absolutely.
It is the most powerful part of the game. We are going to be moving into automation. We are going to be moving into embracing and more innovative technology. But it's still the people where the magic comes from, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's driven that way.
The communication for me is so important. Talking to people, understanding people's needs and what they want.
But you've even brought that into play on a very local level, very personal level, with doing some of your, just doing some video.
Yeah.
But you're laughing, but it's showing people the bricks you've got in stock.
Absolutely.
These are here now.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah, I think
it costs nothing for you to put it out.
No, it's free advertising.
Yeah.
It gets lots of hits. It's quite successful. But I think we're trying to make it so it's just quite basic. We're not overly worried about whether it's good sound quality. You can hear a forklift unloading or loading a lorry. That's what they're doing. If they're not, I'm worried why they're not loading or unloading. So they want to hear the noise. They want to see that my hand's shaking because I'm freezing cold because I'm not used to being out in the yard. I want to go back inside.
It was a bit cold this morning, mate. To be fair, it was like, it's a bit cold here.
I was way gone before you saw me get cold. But no, sorry.
Oh, look at Charlie.
There's one in there.
He was quicker than me. All right, I'm not going to look in the camera. I did not win the race. Okay, it's all right.
But genuinely, we want to make these posts we put on LinkedIn and other social media platforms very simple. We're not trying to worry about the light's okay, the sound quality is great, the background looks a bit shaky. Just get the message out there, and people don't look at whether or not you've got all those things right. They just want to know, oh, I've got that product, or I've got that brick in the yard. This is where they're from. This is when they're going down the road.
Well, they're going to get some footage of you being interviewed on Seaford Beach, mate, because Rico was filming away. He was getting different angles and opinions, and he just pops up. He's just there. He's like, okay, say something. What, Rico?
Yeah.
I can't breathe at the moment. I'm struggling to breathe, let alone tell you how I'm feeling. But you're spot on, and taking those small steps leads to bigger things. And also, I think if I was part of your team and I see the governor doing it, I'm going to be more willing to have a go myself.
Yeah, the plan wasn't for me to do it. And
you like it, really, don't you?
But I also do it behind the camera. So I'm not the face of selling bricks, because I probably haven't got the face for selling bricks.
What face do you have to have for selling bricks? Is it a supermodel face? Is it
no, I quite like the fact that it's just me and a camera whizzing around the yard, taking pictures, videos, some bricks, and putting them on social media. It's very straightforward, very simple.
We're noticing it. We're seeing what you're doing. So let's talk. Just going back to your journey, your 10 years when you've done everything apart from jumping in the forklift. What would you say? That some of the highlights of that journey for you?
Some of the highlights. There's probably a real mixture, if I'm honest. I think it's important that the team that we've built up over the 10 years is really important. The team I've got around me now is a brilliant team from sales directors, financial directors, all the way down to the guys in the yard. And the one thing I brought in when I took over was we're a team.
Yeah.
We want to go on this journey, want to develop, want to grow the business, but we want to do it together. So I send out every month, every time we have a sales report comes out, I send a message out to the whole company. It's not overly flamboyant message, it's just a very simple email. I make a point of speaking to all the guys and girls in the office around the company. I communicate with everyone at the same way. But
coming through, you're going to realise the importance of that. You're going to see the impact it has if that person isn't spoken to or isn't communicated with. I remember some of my early days in merchants when directors used to walk past me on the counter and go into the manager's door and shut the door. And genuinely, one of those people offered me a sales director's job when I was 26. I turned it down. I'm not going to work for you. You know, which was a bit arrogant and a bit, but I managed to get one. But
we make this.
But that culture is culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do the same thing.
You've got a team culture that you've built over 10 years. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah, and we do the same thing with when customers and manufacturers come in. We make a point of saying to them, these are the people that do the work.
Yeah.
You know, the guys and girls in the sales office, they're the ones that do all the hard work and put the orders on and communicate with their internal salespeople.
You do the easy part, Dave.
Sometimes don't even do that.
Yeah. I got someone said to me, they said, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I've got a podcast. I can do some videos. I talk to a few people." I said, "But in your recruitment, they do a great job. But it is giving. You know, one of the things I've learned is letting great people do the work and encourage them to do it. And I think that will be part of the future. And if you look at where we are now, you know, the ET Clay product story in 2022. We're recording this in January, mid-January. This will be going live in February. So, from your point of view, Dave, where do you see the market this year? What do you see?
Wow.
Where do you see it going? I know it's deep, but it's just
it's a big question. I see it sort of staying as it is at the moment, and probably for the rest of the year. There's no real signs. Different people you speak to give you different opinions on it, but there's no real signs anything's going to change massively. There's a brick shortage. That's not something that no one knows about. There's a big brick shortage at the moment, and there's problems with cost with regards to gas prices, shipping, manufacturing prices, all the things that create bigger problems down the line. We're fortunate that we've got a large stock profile. We've got large range of products within our depots, so we're lucky in that sense. But I feel the market is going to continue in that same vein probably to the end of the year, and then I guess 2023, who knows. But just touching on one thing you mentioned earlier about having people in the business that do the jobs and try not to let people do their job, let people excel in the areas they're in, and that's really important. There's no point me employing really good IT people, salespeople, marketing people, and tell them how to do their job. That's what they're there for. They're the skilled people. We've got skilled people in marketing and IT. I don't know what they do. I can't tell them how to get the system working better. They do that. That's not my skill. I don't know how to do that. And for me to get myself involved in things like that, it's wrong. It's pointless. I might as well not employ them and try and do it all myself.
And that makes everything so powerful in terms of that message. And I think probably it's why you've been successful. It's why the business is going to be successful. And ending this part of the podcast talking about good people being allowed to do their job and be creative. If that can be the future of the brick industry, the merchant industry, we're in a very, very good place. David, great part of the show. We're going to move on to the next part now.
Life-changing recruitment for the KBB, builders merchant and construction industries. Creative social content, specialist knowledge, world-leading video technology, helping you find career happiness and helping your business attract its stars of the future. We are Foyne Jones. This is what we do.
So, we know David Blitz, we know ET Clay Products, we sadly know he's quicker than me over 5,000 metres, which is unfortunate, but there you go. It will be proven later this year if you're faster than me over 26 3/4 miles. Who knows?
I'm taking part. I'm not taking
part, but I'm clawing onto my PB from when I was much younger. Let's talk about football, all right? And I've called this section "We Support Our Local Team." I'm a Fulham fan from Fulham.
Are you?
All right, I'm a Fulham fan from Fulham. People tend to know this. I do live by the seaside now, but I'm a Fulham fan from Fulham. 35 years, Fulham, born and bred, and I follow my team. Let's talk about why you are a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
That's a really good question.
It's a simple one.
My dad's an Arsenal fan.
Okay, so your dad didn't say so.
No, my nan was an Arsenal fan.
Hey, Charlie, should be on your side, mate. Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure why.
Glenn Hoddle, Paul Gascoigne, was it a player?
I'm a huge Paul Gascoigne fan, and I mean a huge Paul Gascoigne fan. I've got a bit of memorabilia in my office at work because I'm a huge fan of what he did and how brilliantly gifted he was. That was probably my era. The first real football match I went to was I think it was Tottenham Everton. My dad took me to. But yeah, it's. I've got lots of family that are Tottenham, but as I said, my dad and my late nan weren't.
What part of Essex are you from?
Pardon?
Well, what part of Essex are you from?
Originally from a place called Gants Hill.
Okay, Gants Hill. So that's Tottenham West Ham way. So you could be either there, can't you? So,
yeah, sit on the border.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. So on the Gaza situation, mate, amazing football player, right? Amazing football player.
Yeah.
I was at Wembley, Euro '96, behind the goal when he flicked it over Colin Hendry's head, mate, and time stood still. And that's in my top 5 goals of all time, mate.
Yeah,
that is to be fair. I've got Rory McIlroy's winner at Carlisle away in '97 as my number 1. I've got Clint Dempsey's chip against Juventus as number 2. You know, I'd say Gaza could be number 3.
That was special.
But that was outrageous.
Yeah.
That was outrageous.
Colin Hendry, wasn't it? He made
he flicked it over Colin Hendry's head. Boom.
Wasn't even there.
Yeah, it was a goal. So a Tottenham fan. Let's talk that. So, what's been the best Tottenham game you've been at in person?
The best Tottenham game is probably. It was probably one I took my kids to. So I took my 2 boys to Spurs. I'm trying to remember Spurs Bournemouth on Boxing Day a few years ago, which was at Wembley. I think we won 5-0, and I've got a soft spot for Bournemouth anyway because I used to work there and coach there and so on. But yeah, that being with letting the boys enjoy the game and watching them cheer and watching them sing. Supposedly sing the right words, but singers anyway on the touchline. It was great. And it's nice to let the boys enjoy the football.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think of the new stadium?
Ridiculously amazing. Honestly, I've done the stadium tour now with the kids, and I've done.
Mate, proper style. Here we go.
And I've done the walking around the cockcrow at the top.
Yeah.
It's. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've done the walk down Seven Sisters Road on a cold Tuesday,
almost the same.
On a cold Tuesday night to watch Fulham lose. So I mean, what Lane's one of them special stadiums is bang in the middle of Tottenham, right? So it's bang in the middle of Tottenham. They kept it bang in the middle of Tottenham. It looks like Disneyland to me from the outside looking in. When Fulham played there, it was COVID, and then we got relegated.
Yeah.
We did lose to you at Wembley when we came up. I mean, we're a yo-yo team, you know. But for the benefit of when we're recording this, I don't like to tempt fate, but we have scored 19 goals in our last 3 games, and we have scored more goals than any other team in Europe. If you look at Juventus, PSG, and we were ahead of them, mate, in our goals scored. So if we get to play next season, I'm going to get tickets at the Craven Cottage for you and the boys. All right, so we'll make it a family day.
I'll do the same for you then.
We'll 100%.
I think my money might be safe.
I think we're up. I'd be very surprised if we don't make it up.
I think you might be. I think you might be.
I mean, we should. I think I should get our squad up if we were there. But your love of Spurs is great. But I really want to dwell on something which you're doing locally.
Yeah.
With another football club in East London. It's probably not the football club people expect me to say, is it?
No. So Leyton Orient, I think for anyone who lives in and around Leyton Orient, Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal fans, or a Southern Red, whoever it may be, Leyton Orient is a local team. I think everyone goes to Leyton Orient normally when your first team isn't playing or when you want to go and watch a game of football. And we're fortunate that we've been able to support them this season, hopefully going forward, as their golden month sponsor. I've
seen your pictures, mate. I've seen
social media.
I've seen you on the pitch. Presenting the goal of the month.
Sometimes
you had someone else doing it as well. It's not always you, is it?
Well, yeah. So that was Eddie. That's the owner. So he is Mr. Leyton Orient. He's been an Orient fan for 50 odd years. He used to go home and away when he was younger, and it's a massive soft spot for him.
I told you a story. I've watched Fulham there loads of times. I've been thrown out of there as a 15-year-old. Well, it's the first game I've ever been thrown out of. I shouldn't really
Not
say
the
that.
last, I'm
Can
sure.
I say that? It was a long time ago. I've learned from my mistakes, right? But and misspent youth, mate.
Yeah.
But the last time I watched Fulham play, Ray Wilkins was playing for Leyton Orient. It was in 1997, and we got promoted under Mickey Adams.
Okay.
Jimmy Hill sold the club to Al Fayed. Al Fayed brought in Keegan. Boom, here we are now. But it is a great community club.
Absolutely. I used to go there as a kid with some friends and had season tickets, and it was a great club.
Do you get a lot? You must get a lot of payback doing that. It must be. It's really good.
Yeah, it's great. They're very good on social media. Josh and Emily, the guys we speak to on a regular basis, are great. They're always looking at different ways to do things. They've got the Papa John's we spoke about earlier.
You got to tell people this is brilliant. This is genius.
This is a great idea. This is Josh, who's the commercial guy there. He realised there was a corner of the stadium that had the best seats in the house, but no one sat there. So he decided to put a dugout, got it branded with Papa John's. People pay to sit there, watch the game for 90 minutes, and at half-time, a little Papa John's scooter comes along and delivers them their pizza. And it's a brilliant concept. When I took my boys to the first game, they said, "Can we not sit in the Papa John's, please?"
Did you get in there?
No, we sat in the posh seats.
Posh seats. Oh, there you go. We're in the director's box, boys. Come on.
Well, it'd be rude not to. But no, it's a brilliant club, and they've done a brilliant job with the whole commercial side, and the hospitality side is brilliant. And on the pitch, they're playing some brilliant football. They need some more wins. They keep picking up draws when they could win, but they've got, they're playing some good football.
What I love about that is it's easy to buy. You can follow any team. You can go down the corporate route and stuff like that. And but when you actually give something to that type of football club, you're helping it survive as well. And I watched growing up Fulham play Leyton Orient. I remember when Leyton Orient broke into the Football League. We got relegated that season to the old 4th Division, and they had Ricky Otto playing.
Ricky Otto.
But this is like the time.
That was my time.
This is the time I'm talking, mate. Yeah, dreadlock left winger. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, players like this don't exist anymore.
It was so cool.
Yeah,
so cool.
He was more cool than good.
Yeah, definitely.
But that was it. And and there was a big thing because we not played them, and they'd come into the Football League, and so I'd watch Fulham play Leyton Orient. I'd watch Fulham play Barnet. I'd watch them. These were the games we played. Our big game was Brentford. I mean, we might have that in the Premier League, but we see them playing all the time. But when I think about it and I look at that now, businesses need to support clubs like that.
Absolutely,
all right? And I think doing something like that keeps it real.
Yep.
It keeps it real and it gives something back. And me and Charlie might like to go to Papa John's dugout one day, mate, eh? Yeah.
This is costing me 2 tickets
now.
Well,
we are.
You'll go anywhere for lunch.
In return, if you get Charlie into the Papa John's dugout, mate, I'll get you to the Dripping Pan Home and Lewis Football Club, because we sponsor different class Michael, who's ripping things up in centre midfield for Lewis, and they're in the Issyman League, so they're 3 away from the Football League at the moment. It goes Conference South, then Conference National, so they're the one below that. Worthing's top. Worthing's number 1, Lewis is number 2. It's part of my deal to sponsor Michael. We also commit to sponsoring a match, so we're sponsoring the Lewis-Worthing home match, right?
Oh, wow.
I went to the game to watch Michael play at Worthing away. Lewis were 2 up. Worthing went 5-2 up. Lewis come back to 5-4. There was 2.5. I mean, there was nearly 2,500 people at Worthing. It was genuinely good attendance. On Boxing Day, Lewis had 1,400 people there. I went to the game on Saturday. I didn't go Fulham this weekend. I went to the Lewis game. They won 3-0, and they had about 800 or 900 people there. So, it is something there.
And as you said, going to those games means so much more to those clubs.
And they're groundbreaking in a way that they pay their men's team and their women's team equal money. They're the only football club that does that. Their diversity, their inclusiveness, their equality is pretty much groundbreaking. Yeah. And they're a little team from Sussex, punching well above their weight. Leyton Orient and the association with David Blitz. I mean, I just look forward to you on the pitch. Here's goal of the month. Is that I definitely want to see you in the Papa John's seats though.
We'll do Papa John's. Yeah, we'll try and get a Papa John's seat.
Fair play. I mean, again, it's real football to me. It's real football. I am quite selfish in terms of if Fulham aren't playing, I don't really care. I watch Lewis because Michael's playing there, and we lived in Lewis, and whatever, and it's close to me, but I don't have that. It's there, but I think from anything, it's great to give something back. So well done with what you're doing with Leyton Orient. Who's the standout player at Orient this season? Is there one?
Yeah, there's a few.
They got anyone with who's dropped down the leagues, or any lone players?
You're a bit of a statter,
not that
so
stuff,
I'm not great with players' names normally. They've got a couple. They've got a guy called Theo Archibald, who has become a bit of a fan's favourite because he's Theo, as in Theo. So that works really well.
Works.
They've got.
Does he get Leo?
Yeah. So and you've got Theo's the mascot. So not him, obviously, but a big.
That'd be funny if he multitasked, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, if he's not playing, he goes and does that. Yeah. They've got a couple. They've got a couple of two guys up top. Two Smiths as well.
My mate dressed up in the Billy the Badger suit once. I hired it.
Well, if we're going to do,
hired it for the Wolves.
If we're going to do claims to fame, I was once Cherry Bear at Bournemouth.
But you did a bit of Bournemouth, though,
I did a bit of Bournemouth. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
coaching at Bournemouth when I was at uni, then went to Crystal Palace and bits like that. So the plan was.
Do you miss that?
Yeah, the plan at one point was to be a football coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie, he's got a five-a-side team, needs help.
Well, my son's managed to rope me into being his coach.
Bart Murphy's episode was all about that, mate. But Bart just went into one about everything.
It's nice to be able to,
I did it. I did it.
I love coaching. It's enjoyable. It's fun. I don't like the admin, so someone does that. I do the coaching and do a lot of shouting on the pitch on a Sunday. My son's just started playing football, and he's loving it. Absolutely loving it. He comes off the pitch, smiling his head off. My other son plays rugby, and he's exactly the same, just a bit tougher.
Okay, well, shout out to Ricky Otto if he's listening, mate. He was a Leighton Orient legend.
There was some real.
He was a Leighton Orient legend of the day.
Yep.
It's great what you're doing with Orient. Look, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club are a good team. I don't know how the season's going to play out. I don't know how the managers are going to play out. But I really, really hope that Ryan Sessegnon gets time on the pitch because that boy's Fulham, and and I actually don't mind that he left Fulham and went to Tottenham because it's a huge step up. I just wanted to play football, and that's what I'd love to see. So great what you're doing with Leighton Orient. There's tickets at Fulham. There's tickets at Lewis if you want to come down. We support our local team,
Absolutely.
and I mean that's a great part of the podcast. It really was. So we are. Sadly, David, we are coming to the end of the episode, all right? You can come back next week when we're recording with John from Balls for Brains with your donation. You bring a big cheque.
Yeah, big cheque.
You bring a big cheque with you, mate, because we've got that one. But what I'd like to do, and I do this for all my guests, is I just want to give you a chance, if you want to send a closing message out to the listeners, to your family, to anyone. If there's anything you want to talk about, what E.T. Clay are doing, what you are doing, is there any message you want to send out?
How can I not mention something about my family?
Come on, mate.
If I don't, I'll get in trouble.
You won't get in trouble, but we could edit. We could edit it.
Okay, we'll do a few then.
Yeah,
which is the best one.
But mate, seriously, just explain it. So it's generally your chance if you want to talk about something you're doing as a business or something you're doing. You don't have to. It can just be, look, you can just go down like, look, it has been tough, but we're going to support our clients. We're going to support our business. Talk to us. It can be whatever you want. There's no plan to it. But I always like to say to people, look, you've been good enough to come here.
No, fair enough.
Have a go. So, David, look, we're wrapping things up now. What a podcast, all right? First of all, and we could start a trend. You are the only guest who has done a 5K charity run before they've got into this studio. Charlie bottled it, by the way. He thinks I'm not going to mention it, but he was invited. He went, I've got a bit on. I'm busy. I've got to release this music. I've got to do it. I'm recording. I'm gigging. Right? So I'm hoping we can turn this into an event, right?
Yeah.
And I really would like to turn this into an event. It's only a 5K. It's by the seaside, by the sea. Thank you for doing that.
Pleasure.
For being so generous to my team, because you're an MD. It's seeing you as a real person. That was great earlier today. We got to meet John, chairman of the charity. We're going to support them. We spoke about how your business has evolved in the pandemic, what you're doing to support the local community. Is there anything you want to end the show with, talking about your business, your family, just as a closing message?
I guess for me, firstly, thank you for allowing me to come on. It's been a great show, been a great day. Enjoyed it.
We ain't let you out yet.
Not yet. Love the 5K. Great to be by the seaside, by the sea, as you keep saying.
There's a song there.
Somewhere there's a song. This year's and last year have been busy, been crazy, been difficult. I'm not going to say it's been an easy ride for anyone. The team we've got at E.T. Clay from north to south is brilliant. They work very hard. We work together.
Shout out to the E.T. Clay posse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, honestly, because for me, it's about the team.
That's come through though.
Because it's easy.
Shout out to the team.
Yeah, because it's easy for me to say, I'm the MD. This is what we've done, and we touched on it earlier. What do I really do? I get.
Well, I don't think you do anything.
Well, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
There's a few people like you, but carry on. No,
I'm in your club, so it's all right. Yeah.
But honestly, the team at ET Clay are brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what makes us different to anyone else. Because of the people we've got in our business.
Brilliant.
No one else has those people, and those people work tirelessly for what we do. And I see what they're doing, and I'm proud of being part of that business.
And that's a fantastic message to end the show, because without good people, we're only so good. So surround yourself with good people, let them do their job, let them work remotely, let them work hybridly, let them work how they need, as long as they put the ball in the back of the net, or get the bricks on site, mate. So how often will you be stopping on the way back out when you see the breath?
Yeah, I've got to be careful, especially when I'm driving down these roads I don't know.
One more thing before we go. You missed out on the lockdown diaries, okay?
Yes.
You wasn't part of this, but you will be part of the podcast diaries. I've got a couple of these for you, sir.
Amazing.
I've signed them while we were recording, so there's some signatures there. They could end up on the Antiques Roadshow. They could end up in Papa John's dugout. Who knows? But there you go. There's two for you, my friend.
Superb. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming up. That is the end of episode 11. Next week, we are recording with Matt Paul, who's going to be talking mortgage advice and finance for business owners. It's a different spin, but so many listeners are going to be in a devil and deep blue situation with their own finances and getting on the property ladder. We're bringing someone in who can actually add value in a very different way from outside the sector. He's a big football fan. He's a Man U fan. We're going to be welcoming him next week. But for this episode, David, thank you for being part of the Foy and Jones show.
Pleasure.
This season, we're getting you back to business. Thanks for listening. That's the end of today's episode. Shout out to our sponsor, Marcel from MHK Holding UK. Next week, I'm joined by Matt Paul of Paul Family Financial, and he's going to be bringing independent financial advice to business owners to our podcast. How good is that? See you next week.